Hey Fit Fam, Coach Rod from Team Flex. Today we're looking at Pro Wellness and we're going to talk about the California Supplement Pro, where we're going to go in depth on these placings and we're going to talk about how they landed, why they did, the top 5 wellness competitors, and what it means for you criteria wise, what you need to know about this division, what you need to know from a judging perspective, right? Like what's going to favor you most on stage. And that's exactly what we do on this channel. No matter your level, I'm teaching you wellness competitors out there how to be better, how to do better. So if you're new here and you haven't hung out with me before, thank you. And please make sure you subscribe, check everything out. All right, here we go. So right out the gate, here's our lineup. This is our top 3 ladies. We're talking about Jade. She's our winner. We're talking about Valkyria. She's taking second. And then we're talking about Rayeli over here taking third. So right out the gate, you can tell, okay, a lot of differences in these physiques, but also a lot of similarities. So wellness is our lower body dominant look. All these ladies got it. You know, you see the hamstrings, you see the quads. I mean, you can see the hamstrings and the quads and the glutes all in the front shot, which is, you know, usually we'd be talking about hamstrings and everything from the back, but not in wellness division, You'll see it all the time. So it's a lower body dominant look where you really get to emphasize that quads and the hamstrings and the glutes and make sure that you're showcasing that to a larger degree than, you know, bikini or something like that was. And that's really what this division started for. So with that, you know, it doesn't mean we ignore the upper body. You got to have a little bit of shape to the upper body. And some comps are going to go more than others, but here's what we're looking at, okay? So Jade. Now, the reason that I think Jade really has stood out and got this win here, it's a little bit interesting because, you know, normally I'd say, okay, this upper body, it looks really, really dominant, right? Like, I'd be like, okay, she looks a little bit too symmetrical, right? And obviously, it's a top placing either way. You know, like maybe I could say, okay, well, maybe Valkyria pulled it together for that first, but, you know, it's really close. It's really close scoring at these top levels. All 3 of these ladies, great example of criteria. Now, Jade has a lot of upper body muscle, and normally I'd be like, that's too much probably, you know, I'd see that and be like, okay, that makes sense for a top 5, maybe not the first. But here's why it's actually a bit different. She pulls it together so much with the lower body, it's just insane. And you'll see what I mean when we get to the back post here. But really, you know, a lot of glute dominance, a lot of hamstring dominance, a lot of quad dominance still in this look. So even though the upper body is definitely bigger and pushing what I would say size-wise, it really does come together nicely. Valkyria's physique is really on point. I honestly like her a little bit better in this lineup for the win, to be honest with you. Like, I think she's exemplifying it more, but I think her shoulders don't exemplify that same shape to the degree that we're going to see, right? So it can make her look a little bit undeveloped, but she really did nail the look overall. Good waist ratio, good upper glute, good overall glute, good everything tying together. And then we look over here at Rayeli, and Rayeli's on point. Everything's there. She just doesn't have as much size overall to stand up against the 2 in front of her, right? So probably very close scoring between these 2 ladies. And when we get to see, we'll go to the back, and this is where the difference is, right? So Valkyria, you know, she's got everything. The quads, though, they look disproportionately too large, in my opinion, compared to her glutes and her hamstrings. And I think this is where, even though, you know, Jade looks a little bit more dominant from that front, like her upper body looks more dominant, she pulled it together just fine because in the back we get to see, you know, a little bit more. So Jade here, she's got really developed overall upper glute, really developed glutes overall, and, you know, quad sweep from the back, everything. All these ladies will have this. And looking at Rayeli, again, just doesn't have the same muscularity as the 2 in front of her. And I think that's really the only thing for her. She probably also wants to size up her glutes a bit. But, you know, in this lineup, again, for me, if I was judging this, I would say probably Valkyria takes this. So it's one of the only videos, comp reviews that I've done of recent time where I kind of disagree with the place a little bit, but, you know, each thing happens and we're just looking at pictures. I was not there, you know, obviously the criteria is the criteria, and all these ladies exemplify it. So it can come down to the smallest little things that really change it. But, you know, if there was anything that I could say for Valkyria, it would be a little bit more, you know, balance, working on that posing a little bit, getting a little bit more of that muscle and the glute to pop. If she had a little bit more pop in the glutes, I think it would have been a slam dunk for her. But overall, very, very good lineup either way. And now let's look at Jade compared to our 4th and our 5th. So joining our lineup here is Cherry. or Sherry. I'm not really sure how to say her name exactly, you guys, but I'm going to go with Cherry for now with one R. So maybe it is Sherry. I'll just say Sherry. And then we got Ruth over here, Ruth, okay, and Sherry. So these are our lineup, and basically this is our fourth and our fifth. So what we get to see here is just, you know, basically with these two, I don't even need to go too in depth. It's pretty obvious to me. They just don't have the same amount of muscle, right? So still very good wellness shape overall. Everything's there. Not as much muscle, you know. So Sherry looks like she's much more dominant, you know, in the sense of like unsymmetrical, right? She's not unsymmetrical. She looks like she's too symmetrical. That's the word. I've been doing a lot of these videos today, but yeah, she's too symmetrical in my opinion. Just doesn't look right. And you know, over here Ruth, she's got the great look too. Everything's wellness. Both of these athletes still joining our lineup here still show that wellness look. Just not as much muscle overall as the top, the three that we're seeing up top. And you get to see that more in the back here. And Ruth, you know, clearly needs to work the glutes a little bit more, build that up, build some more of that together to tie that hamstring in. And honestly, you know, Sherry looks great from the back, but again, just not the same amount of size factor that we're going to get, and too symmetrical, right? Like this is a very symmetrical look in this back pose. Looks almost more like a bikini back pose in a sense. So again, those are the things that can really factor in. If you want to be wellness and you want to be dominant in wellness, you want to win your show, you got to really focus on that lower body muscle. And this is a very tight, you know, lineup. Valkyria and Jade probably down to a point or two at this point, I would say, and it could have gone either way. So really great examples of criteria there. And you know, this is an awesome turnout for events and a great direction for wellness. Make sure you know you got to have the muscle, but also the shape, and you want to be asymmetrical. I keep messing my words up right now. Asymmetrical, okay? Upper body's got to be there. You got to have the shape and the size, but it's got to look disproportionate to what's going on in our lower body, right? In wellness division. So that's key. That's the thing. And make sure you're also pushing the size there. You don't want to look in any case like you have symmetry. You want to have muscle everywhere and make sure it looks like, wow, that's bottom heavy. You got a lot of muscle down in the glutes, the quads, and the hamstrings. And you're going to do better on wellness stage. So let me know what you think with these placings. Do you agree? Do you think Jade should have won? Do you think Valkyria should have won? Do you think Sherry should have won? Ruth, anybody, let me know in the comments below. And again, if you're new here, make sure you hang out and subscribe. We've got a lot more coming. Thanks for watching. Coach Rye is out.